Welcome into another episode of Ravens Reports. It's your guy Noah here with Full the Flock, as always, bringing you guys our top 5 news reports and storylines coming out of our Baltimore Ravens today. We have an absolutely loaded episode for you guys. Stud nickelback corner Mike Hilton was named as a top free agent fit by NFL trade rumors, and we're going to take a look at that and how he could really boost up that defense that has now lost Darius Washington to a season-ending Achilles tear. We also have the Baltimore Ravens adding 3 more undrafted free agent rookies, some more competition to the rookie kicker Tyler Loop in that kicking battle, another super athletic defensive back, and a very interesting fullback. Plus, we got our top takeaways from the Derrick Henry interview today after he just officially signed his 2-year contract extension that will hopefully keep him a Baltimore Raven until he retires, because purple and black just looks right on Derrick Henry. We're also going to look at the Baltimore Ravens Super Bowl window and how the Ravens are going all in this season and much more, man. So let's go ahead and dive into the content. At number 1, let's start off with these Mike Hilton rumors and reports. So this came out from NFL Trade Rumors on their top remaining free agents. The 10th overall remaining free agent was cornerback Mike Hilton, named as a top fit for our Baltimore Ravens. Now, let's talk about why this makes a lot of sense and why it can actually be a lot of fun for the secondary. First of all, the Baltimore Ravens finished 31st out of 32 NFL teams in their pass defense last year. They allowed 27 passing touchdowns, which was 10th worst in the National Football League. They got better during the second half. A big part of that was Darius Washington being added into the starting lineup. However, Darius Washington just tore his Achilles and is out for the season. There's a small possibility he could come back towards the end of the season, but he's likely not returning. So let's take a look at the Baltimore Ravens additions and losses and subtractions in their secondary this year. First of all, the Ravens drafted Malachi Starks in the first round, a very versatile safety that can play in the nickel. He played a lot in the nickel in 2024 for the Georgia Bulldogs, but the years prior was more of a, rangy free safety type, but has had experience all over their secondary. The Ravens also signed Chidobe Awuzie, former Cowboy and Cincinnati Bengal, and then drafted Bilal Kone and Robert Longerbeam in the later rounds of the draft. So 3 young additions and then 1 veteran in Chidobe. But here's the losses. They lost to Darius Washington, who we just talked about, a huge part of the secondary, who had nickel versatility as well. He did start in the nickel in the 2023 season, had an injury, battled back 2024, got a starting role as a safety after Marcus Williams and Eddie Jackson did not perform well. But not only did the Ravens lose Darius Washington, they also lost Arthur Millette, who played in the nickel sometimes. They released him. They also lost Brandon Stevens to the Jets in free agency, and we know Brandon Stevens was all over the field as well. Sometimes he was a safety, sometimes he was an outside corner, sometimes he was in the nickel, sometimes they had a matchup on tight ends. So the point is, multiple versatile defensive backs, specifically at that nickel position, are now lost, and Mike Hilton is a perfect fit. He's a nickel-only type of guy. He would be a smart, hard-nosed veteran who's familiar with AFC North football. He started many games with the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cincinnati Bengals. He's now a free agent. Last season with the Bengals, he had a 91.7 run defense PFF grade, which was first out of all corners in the NFL, plus an above-average coverage grade at 68.5. Still playing good football. He's familiar with AFC North football, and the Ravens could use another nickel defensive back. Even if he's not a starter, he would be a great veteran depth addition, in my opinion. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments section below. And as always, if you're getting value out of these episodes of Ravens Reports, make sure to smash the like button. At number 2, let's talk about how Derrick Henry was just signed to a big contract extension with the Baltimore Ravens and how he addressed the media today. Now, what's so important about this, what's so exciting, is the offensive core that is now together through 2027. Check this out. Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, and Ronnie Stanley are all signed through 2027. Zay Flowers and Rashad Bateman, the top 2 wide receivers for Baltimore, are also signed through 2026. So we have the next 2 years, literally like all of our top main starters, coming back, the core pieces, and that Super Bowl window is wide open. And we have Todd Monken, one of the best offensive minds in the NFL right now, who was just signed to an extension as well. Lamar Jackson and Tyler Linderbaum extensions are on the horizon. Plus, we got to figure out what we're going to do at the tight end position, whether or not we're going to extend Mark Andrews or Isaiah Likely. I'm in the extend Isaiah Likely camp, as we've talked about before. Also, don't sleep on Charlie Kolar on a, decent type of deal, non-bank breaking type of deal if he wants to return to Baltimore. But the fact that these pieces are all intact is great for the Baltimore Ravens for their Super Bowl window. Like we talked about before, it's very rare, like almost unheard of, that you have a Hall of Fame running back and a Hall of Fame quarterback in the same backfield together, in the same time, in the same era, in the same team. It's just crazy that Derrick Henry, putting up almost 2,000 rushing yards last year, at 30 years old, he's fired up. We're talking about the best dual threat quarterback of all time with one of the best running backs. Oh, and by the way, at number 3, Derrick Henry is about to break into the top 10 of all-time rushing leaders in the NFL. That's crazy. He was asked about the cliff, not hitting the cliff that running backs hit at 30 years old. He said, I want to be great, so no matter how good or bad it is, I'm always focused on getting better. I think for you to be great, you have to be consistent. You have to outwork everybody. We've seen the workout clips. We've seen how he puts in work at training camp, in the building, at practices, OTAs, but then also what he does on his own and how much money he puts into preparing his body. He said, that's the approach every single day that I wake up, man. That's very apparent with his consistency. Whenever he was asked about being 1,300 yards away from cracking the top 10 of all-time rushing leaders, here's what he had to say.
Well, how important is that for you? Because then now you're getting into like really big historical categories now.
Yeah, when you say something like that, it's just like it's a surreal moment to be able to have that opportunity and be in that conversation. God has blessed me tremendously, and since I was 5 years old, I fell in love with this game, and playing this position. I always looked up to great running backs who played this game at a high level, who are legends of the game, and dreaming of my name being mentioned with them one day. And for me to somewhat have the opportunity, it's so surreal. And God is so good. I've had a lot of people throughout my life to help me get to this.
And here's what Derrick Henry had to say on being paired up with the 2-time MVP Lamar Jackson and how it makes his job a little bit easier.
Yeah, I think definitely. He's just so dynamic. You got to count from every single play, and eyes are gonna be on him. Just by the player he is, with his arm and with his legs, and for me that makes me happy. So, I get more opportunities, and they gotta account for him just as much as they account for me. So. It's fun playing alongside him and all these guys on offense, just playmakers all around. And I know he has a lot of fun. You guys see the highlights and the plays he make. These guys love playing for him, and I love being a teammate.
So I can't wait. Derrick Henry, 2 more seasons in Baltimore. Absolutely love it. Great move by Eric DeCosta, keeping this offensive core together for as long as possible. At number 4, Ryan Mink mentions Bo Braid and Sanusi Kane as guys to look out for with this new injury from Ardarius Washington. He says Washington's Achilles injury is a tough blow for him and the team. The Ravens could add a veteran this summer, but count me as intrigued by the potential of rising sophomore Sanusi Kane, who looked good last year, and Bo Braid, who also looked good last year. They were good on special teams and in the preseason last year. So keep your eye out for these 2 young second-year safeties with something to prove, with a huge opportunity ahead of them. Sometimes you don't know when your opportunity is going to come, but these guys have a grand opportunity right in their face for them to go and take a hold of. At number 5, speaking of some young guys that are looking for opportunities, the Baltimore Ravens added 3 other undrafted free agent rookies. These were tryout guys in rookie minicamp, and the Ravens liked what they saw during that tryout, and they're bringing them. They signed them on to the squad. The Baltimore Ravens added Wyoming kicker John Hoyland as a competition kicker, as we know, with Tyler Loop, who was drafted in the later rounds. We also added Army fullback Lucas Scott, who played for Todd Monken's relative in college last year, and we added Louisiana Lafayette defensive back Keon Martin. Now, Keon Martin is the one that is exciting here. If you look based off the athletic profile, blew up his pro day. I mean, he ran the 40-yard dash in a 4.38. He had a 39-inch vertical and a 10.4 broad jump. He's smaller. That's why he went undrafted. He's 5'9", 175 pounds. But he's a defensive back with 56 tackles and 2 interceptions last year for the Raging Cajuns. So another young defensive back added into that mix. Will the Baltimore Ravens pursue another veteran alongside of Chidobe Awuzie and Marlon Humphrey as the true veteran corners? And then you got Kyle Hamilton as a vet safety. Do they want to add another veteran safety like a Justin Simmons? Or are they interested in Mike Hilton? It remains to be seen. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section below. Smash the like button if you got any value out of today's content. Don't forget to have your subscribe and notification bell on so you don't miss anything Baltimore Ravens, man. I love you guys. Appreciate y'all, and we'll see you in the next video.
When he wasn't looking, he ran me over.